Sooner or later, we always find out who our true friends are. Greetings and welcome to Here's What I Heard, home of the Talk to Me America show, where the world wants to know what you have to say, so call me and tell them like it is. At its new day and time, Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Time. I'm ldghwih, your hostess. Thank you for clicking on my little acre of the internet today. Please support the channel. All my links are below. Click on some of them, will ya? And don't forget to share. Let's start helping people today, shall we? This video and all my AITA videos are for entertainment purposes only. Sometimes situations don't bring the best out in your best friend. Am I the a-hole for confronting my best friend about sexting my husband in front of everyone? Now, did you confront her in front of everyone, or did she sext him in front of everyone? We'll find out. First, she hated my husband. She thought he was short and pathetic and simp. A simp, probably. Learn to write. By simp, she meant he loved and respected me and didn't play games. I can tell by the way this thing is written that it's not AI. You'll see here in a minute. It won't make a whole lot of sense, but you'll get it. By simp, she meant he loved and respected me and didn't play games. Okay, sounds like he's an honorable person. He was so confident in himself that he told me that he liked me after the third date. And when he proposed, he admitted that he was in love with from our first date. In love with what? That's what I mean. See what I mean? Learn to write. And I was going to say, even AI wouldn't miss this. I am so in love with him, and her kidding didn't bother me. Oh yeah? She was kidding about being short, pathetic, and a simp? Red flag! Red flag! All I did and said is that I wished her to experience real love. Only then will she understand why I am with him. Okay, that was on my wedding day when she again was kidding. So basically on your wedding day, she's still calling him short, a simp, and pathetic? Okay, like I say, red flag, she started this. My sister told her that her passive aggressiveness was showing and that she wasn't fooling anyone. Well, she was fooling you a little bit, evidently, because you think she's kidding. The rest of the girls laughed. Good. For 2 years now, she has never spoken ill about him. I was very relieved in the beginning, but then I started wondering, she is too nice to him. Okay. Always complimenting his looks. She usually doesn't even hug hello. She says she's autistic and can't, but now she hugs him and kisses him hi. Always sits beside him. As I say, this kidding was, well, like I say, the sister recognized it right away, passive aggressiveness. And again, this from your best friend. She's not happy for you. She's just going to keep nagging you about this guy and keep bothering him? Oh, wait. She texted him memes and she told me that they had the same humor. They don't. A run-on sentence here. I didn't know what to do. Should I say something to any of them? Who? My husband is oblivious and I don't want to hurt her if I was being mistaken. No, I'm sure your husband's not oblivious. 2 weeks ago, she sent my husband a text saying that she was in love with him. Really? Is that something you tell people over text now? I would want that to be face-to-face, wouldn't you? He didn't answer her, so she sent him, hello? He asked her to stop because he is very uncomfortable and doesn't reciprocate her feelings, and that I love her, so she shouldn't do this again. Yeah, you're doing this. What are you doing to your best friend? Again, very honorable. A week later, she sent him nudes at... Really? Sounds like she's trying to break you guys up somehow or another. Anyway, at that, my husband told me everything. Really? So for the last 2 years, this has been going on. Your husband, you think your husband's been oblivious. But now, after he was sent nudes, he tells you everything? Honorable man's not looking so honorable anymore either. I'm sure he enjoyed the attention, if nothing else. He said he wasn't sure at first, but she made a move on him a month ago. Why you didn't say some shit a month ago? So yeah, your husband wasn't oblivious. Then he showed me the text. I was very angry and disappointed. That's a normal reaction. He told me that he was blocking her now. He's blocking her now? She's been doing this for 2 years and he's just blocking her now? Maybe he was oblivious. So last Sunday, I just confronted her when we were out to dinner. You really waited that long? I would walk my butt right to her house and stuck those things in her face. What do you think you're doing, young lady? It was the same usual friend group. I blurred her nude but her face and sent everyone the screenshots. You blurred her nude but her face. I would imagine she's trying to say I blurred the photo except for her face and sent everyone the screenshots of what she wrote to my husband. I asked her what she thought about that, and she was livid. Yeah, actually, I don't think I would have involved all my friends. Like I say, first of all, I wouldn't have waited until Sunday to go confront her. I'd have hauled my butt right to her doorstep, wanting to know, hey, what's up with this? Don't do this again. Now, then if she kept it up, then I might have embarrassed her. But you're not the a-hole here. So basically, what's in the title? She is so angry at me. Oh well. Calling me an abuser and an a-hole. But for me, if what she was doing wasn't wrong, then she wouldn't be ashamed of me outing her, would she? Well, like I say, I don't think I would have had a group around me. If you were that confident in this, you should have... Like I say, I would not have waited, and I would have been on her doorstep with my husband and the texts and the nudes and everything and confronted her right then and there. Then if she continued to be a jerk about it or did something about it, I might actually tell the rest of my friends. But I would have dealt with that without people. I wouldn't have needed backup. So, but no, you're not the a-hole. You had every right to confront her and let her know, hey, bitch, this is my man. Hands off. What do you guys think? I wonder if this is a reason why some people think that all men are creeps. Am I the a-hole for breaking up my dad's friendship of 14 years with one of his best friends? My dad, 46, and his close friend, whom we'll call Chris, 32, have been friends for over 14 years. They met through work where Chris is a police officer and became very close. Okay. Police officer... Chris has been a part of my life since I was about 6 or 7 years old. Now I'm 20. Chris attends all our family gatherings and events, so I've seen him regularly. Before I turned 18, our interactions were minimal. Just a quick hello or goodbye, sometimes a brief side hug, but never much conversation. When I turned 18 and was already in a relationship for over a year, Chris followed me on Instagram. I didn't think much of it since I follow many of my mom's friends on social media, and Chris had been a family friend for years, so I felt comfortable. Over time, he started liking my Instagram stories, which still seemed harmless. I mentioned this to my mom, who said to ignore it because Chris was known to be eccentric. Uh-oh, there you go, there's a red flag. Now, why wouldn't any of that be mentioned before she turned 18? There had to have been something. However, his behavior escalated when he began sending me messages with compliments like saying I looked beautiful or that any guy would be lucky to have me. I'd respond with a simple thank you or just acknowledge the message, unsure how to handle it and not wanting to engage further. By the time I turned 19, his messages became more inappropriate and unsettling. Well, why did you continue to keep up with this stuff? I would have blocked him by that point. Or just stopped answering him. He made suggestive comments about wanting a relationship with me and even mentioned things like starting a family together, suggesting that my dad would get used to it. Obviously, she told him that this would upset her father and it wouldn't be, no. So obviously she was telling him, hey, no, there's no way. When I ignored him or didn't respond, he'd send messages asking why I was upset or if I found him unattractive, which made me uncomfortable. I would have been uncomfortable way before that. I hesitated to tell my parents because I didn't want to cause drama or ruin my dad's friendship. Well, You weren't doing that. You wouldn't have been the one doing that. It's this guy. Like I say, you're lucky he didn't wait for you somewhere and ambush you somewhere. That could have been, if you were that uncomfortable before this, yeah, you let this, in my opinion, it sounds like you let this go on way too long. This continued for 2 years, see what I mean? Until my 20th birthday in May. When Chris sent a message implying he was my birthday gift and invited me to his home. That was the final straw. Okay, I confided in my mom, who initially downplayed it, repeating that Chris was just odd. Yeah, he's a perv, it sounds like. But when I shared the full extent of his inappropriate comments, she was upset and immediately told my dad. My dad was furious, as he should be. He confronted Chris over the phone, and Chris admitted his behavior was wrong, saying he avoided staying over at our house to prevent himself from acting on his feelings. Yeah, like I say, this was... The comments and everything were one thing, but I can say at least the guy waited until she was of age. He didn't try to, he's not a pedo. I'm sure he has some feelings. Like I say, if he sounds also too like he was always the third wheel. So he sounds almost desperate for a relationship and a family like the one his best friend has. My dad ended their 14-year friendship and blocked Chris on all platforms, as did my mom and her friends. My dad also informed his co-workers, who distanced themselves from Chris. I've been feeling incredibly guilty about this. You probably shouldn't. Like I say, it was inappropriate what he did, but again, there's a fine line here because A, he never molested you. He only said these things to you, trying to get your attention, trying to get you to like him, and obviously not knowing how. Like I say, he's the only person that was ever there. I never hear you mention anything about any girlfriends or any other relationships that he ever had, except for your family. It was almost like he was a brother or a, yeah. You made him part of your family, but he never had any other relationships. That was kind of weird. But that's why I say they called him odd for that. My dad reassured me and was hurt that I didn't feel safe telling him sooner. I don't think you were trying to spare his feelings, but yeah, I would have been hurt. You let it go on for 2 years. That's way too long for something like this. After the second or third time he made inappropriate comments after you told him stop, he would have been blocked. If it had gone on out anymore after that, then you start telling people, I can see he's also grieving the loss of someone he considered a brother. Again, Chris brought this on himself. This is not your fault, except for the fact you let it go on for so long. Even though this happened 2 months ago, I still feel terrible and wonder if I should have stayed silent and dealt with Chris's comments to preserve their friendship. Yeah, and I told you how you should have dealt with Chris's comments. After the couple of times, and you couldn't get him to stop, block. Period. Don't talk to him no more than anything. If anybody asks you about it, then tell him. To address some questions, I did tell Chris his messages were inappropriate and that my dad would be upset, but he dismissed my concerns, saying age didn't matter if feelings were genuine. Yeah, this guy was desperate. Now talk about a simp. I didn't block him immediately because I saw him often at family events and I worried about him confronting me in person or creating new accounts to message me. He was going to do that anyway, and he never did that. Not to mention the fact, if he would have confronted you at a gathering like that, real easy to just bring attention to it. Hey, how dare you say something like that to me? And then everybody be looking at him. He'd say, I'm sorry, probably excuse himself. I mean, there's more different ways to deal with this. This really and truly, this was a coward. You dealt with this very, very cowardly. I know you wanted to save your dad's feelings, but at the same time, would you want your dad to have a friend like this? What if you had a sister? You didn't work, but as soon as she turned 18, a younger sister or something like that, I'm sorry, you're not the a-hole for telling your dad. You're the a-hole for not telling him sooner. As for why I didn't speak up sooner, I told my mom when Chris started liking my stories, and she advised me to brush it off, so I thought it was normal. Yeah, at that point, just liking your stories, fine. But when you started getting the messages, and for 2 years, like I say, I would have been angry with him, but I would have also been angry with you for not bringing it to our attention sooner, because you actually could have been in danger of being kidnapped, especially since he was a cop. You know, cops seem to get away with things like this because, oh, he's a good man, he's a cop, he's a first responder. There's no way he could be abusing somebody on the side. But they find that cops actually are bigger domestic abusers than a lot of people. And it's because of the stress. I'm not saying it's right, but yeah, there's factors. But yeah, they find that cops are some of the biggest domestic abusers on the planet. So yeah, this could have gone really badly for you. And then your dad would have been without a daughter. Which one would have been more important to him, do you think? Now, yeah, he's sad that he's gone. They had a friendship, but he'll get over it. And it sounds to me like you were more important to him anyway. What does my audience think? Give me a comment down below. I do hope you enjoyed my video today. Thanks so much for visiting me once again, and what do you think of these scenarios? Let me know if you like what I'm doing here. Don't forget, on its new day and time, the Talk to Me America show, where the world wants to know what you have to say. So call me and tell them like it is. Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Time. Please support the channel. All my links are below. Click on some of them, will ya? And don't forget to share. Thank you for clicking on my little acre of the internet today. And remember, LDG is here to help. Until next time, AMF!